Chosen one. You are not here by coincidence. Heaven aligned this moment with precision, and your spirit was summoned into it. Something in you has already sensed it, a shift, a pull, a quiet knowing that you've stepped into the threshold of a supernatural breakthrough. Anointed one. You are standing at the edge of a divine wealth transfer, the kind Scripture whispers about when it says the treasures of the wicked are laid up for the righteous. This is holy timing. This is divine appointment. Open your spirit now. What you are about to receive will mark the beginning of a new chapter heaven has already written for you. Chosen one. As we step deeper into this message, I want you to know something with absolute clarity. Heaven did not bring you here to entertain your ears. Heaven brought you here to interrupt your atmosphere. Something has already begun shifting around you, even before these words reach their final syllable. You may not see it yet, but the spiritual realm has already recognized you as one who survived what should have erased you, and because you survived, you have stepped into a realm where the old patterns can no longer claim you, the old cycles can no longer bind you, and the old weapons can no longer touch you. Anointed one. There is a reason your life has felt like spiritual warfare wrapped inside spiritual training. There is a reason every breakthrough came with resistance, every open door came with pressure, and every blessing felt like it arrived through fire. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. God was refining your discernment, sharpening your ears, elevating your spirit to recognize what most people miss. Every delay was a shaping. Every heartbreak was a holy appointment. Every pressure was prophetic preparation. I know this because I've lived it. There were seasons when my prayers felt like they bounced off the ceiling, seasons when I asked God why everything seemed to require double the effort, double the tears, double the endurance. I didn't understand then what I understand now. Chosen ones are processed differently. They are tested deeper, they are forged hotter, and they emerge carrying power others cannot comprehend. And chosen one, that's you. You've been walking through experiences that didn't make sense, moments where you felt like God was silent when really He was building something inside you that silence could not sabotage. You were walking through nights you didn't think you'd survive, only to discover there was a strength inside you that danger underestimated. You didn't quit. You didn't fold, you didn't surrender to the pain, and that is why you are standing at the edge of something holy right now. Let me speak this clearly into your spirit. Your suffering had an expiration date, and heaven has declared it fulfilled. You are stepping into a chapter where what once wounded you will no longer have permission to reach you. You are not entering a season of resistance. You are entering a season of recompense. What you lost in tears, heaven is about to return in overflow. What was stolen through warfare will be restored through divine intervention. What drained you emotionally will be replenished spiritually and financially. Yes, financially. Anointed one. I need you to hear this with the ears of the Spirit. There is a divine transfer unfolding around you. Not a mere blessing, not a simple increase, but a supernatural shift in resources, opportunities, connections, and favor. What once seemed locked is opening. What once seemed withheld is being released. What once seemed unreachable is being placed into your hands. I'm not speaking this lightly. I've lived through the kind of seasons where nothing made sense financially, where opportunities dried up, where people walked away, where everything felt like a closed door. And I remember the night I told God, if something doesn't shift, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. But He whispered back, "You're closer than you think." And chosen one, that's exactly where you are right now. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. You are at the moment when heaven decides the cycle is broken, the burden is lifted, and the blessing that was delayed is now released. You are standing where divine timing and divine recompense collide, and what emerges from that collision is breakthrough, not the kind you fight for, but the kind heaven hands you. There is a reason the pressure has intensified lately. Pressure is always the prelude to promotion, and not just spiritual promotion, but practical, visible financial elevation. There is a reason you've felt the urge to detach from old environments, old relationships, old thinking patterns. There is a reason your spirit has been restless, scanning the atmosphere for something you can't explain. You're discerning the shift before it manifests. Chosen. 1. The realm of heaven has already released your next level, and now your spirit is catching up to the truth your future already knows. Maybe you've noticed unexpected clarity in your decisions. Maybe doors that were once sealed tight started to crack open. Maybe conversations you didn't initiate are aligning you with new opportunities. Maybe unexpected favor has started appearing in small, unusual ways. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. When God is preparing to elevate a chosen one, he always starts by shifting their awareness. And I want to tell you something from personal experience. Breakthrough rarely shows up in the way you expect. Sometimes it appears disguised in a strange instruction, a moment of surrender, a sudden ending, or a divine redirection that feels uncomfortable at first. But every time I obeyed those strange nudges, those quiet whispers, those spiritual pulls, heaven responded with results I could have never engineered. Chosen one, the same God who parted seas, multiplied oil, and fed prophets is moving for you. Not next week, not someday, now. Your survival has created spiritual, legal grounds for your elevation. Your endurance has activated a divine exchange. Your faithfulness has pulled breakthrough into manifestation. You're not stepping into ease by accident. You're stepping into it because heaven has declared the warfare phase completed. Chosen one. Now that you've stepped into the revelation of who you truly are, heaven is pulling you into a deeper understanding of what's unfolding around your life. The shift you're sensing is not imagination, not wishful thinking, not emotional hope. It is the unmistakable vibration of divine timing aligning itself in your favor. What you're feeling is the aftershock of spiritual chains breaking, cycles collapsing, and old agreements losing their grip. You are walking into a territory your past is no longer permitted to follow you into. You've noticed it, haven't you? The strange clarity, the sharpened instincts, the sudden ability to see through people and situations that once confused you. You sense deception before it speaks. You feel danger before it appears. You recognize patterns before they finish forming. This is not anxiety. This is discernment. God has been awakening your spiritual senses because the next phase of your life requires precision. You can't afford to be blind in a season where heaven is promoting you. Your elevation demanded an upgrade in perception, and heaven delivered it. Part of that elevation meant losing people, shedding environments, and outgrowing expectations that once shaped who you thought you were. It confused you at first, the sudden coldness from people, the unexpected distance, the unexplainable tension. But now, you understand when God lifts a chosen one, he exposes what can't go with them. Heaven increases your visibility while darkness loses its camouflage. People who once hid their motives found themselves unable to conceal them any longer. But this is not a punishment. It is protection. I know the ache of watching people walk away, the sting of realizing some connections were seasonal, not eternal. I know what it feels like to hold on to relationships that God Himself was trying to release. I fought to keep people close who were quietly compromising my calling. I clung to environments that were draining the very life I needed to rise. But eventually, I learned a truth I now speak over you. God never removes anyone who is essential to your destiny. What left was not loss. It was clearing. It was a holy pruning that prepared room for what heaven is sending next. And what heaven is sending next is not small, not ordinary, not common. Chosen one, you are stepping into a financial, spiritual, and prophetic upgrade so significant that your old environment could not have sustained it. You were not created to live at the level you struggled in. You were not anointed to survive forever. You were chosen to reign, to carry authority, to step into assignment abundance and alignment with grace and boldness. This is why the warfare intensified in the areas where you felt weakest. The enemy attacked your finances because heaven ordained you to walk in supernatural provision. He attacked your mind because clarity is your mantle. He attacked your relationships because restoration is part of your assignment. He attacked your confidence because authority is your calling. Warfare always reveals destiny. You were not being targeted because you were fragile. You were being targeted because you were powerful. Now, heaven is releasing something extraordinary over you, a divine transfer. A shift in resources, influence, and access. A pouring out of provision that aligns with your purpose. What once seemed out of reach is being placed in your hands. What once seemed delayed is accelerating toward you. What once felt impossible is becoming your new normal. Your suffering was not pointless. Your tears were not wasted. Every moment of loneliness, pressure, humiliation, and confusion was recorded in the courts of heaven. And now the verdict has been rendered over your life. It is finished. It is broken. It will not repeat. The storm has exhausted its assignment. The cycle has reached its expiration. The pain that once ruled your atmosphere has lost its authority. You are free in a way you have never been free before. Chosen one, you are now stepping into a season where you won't have to chase what belongs to you. Opportunities will search for you. Favor will recognize your name. Provision will respond to your obedience. Breakthrough will follow your footsteps. The blessing is not coming because you asked, it's coming because you endured. You passed tests most people collapse under. You carried burdens your bloodline could not survive. You held on to your faith when everything around you tried to drown it. And now heaven is responding. This is not just survival. This is elevation. This is restoration. This is divine recompense being poured into your life. You are rising into a realm of peace, clarity, abundance, and supernatural alignment that generations before you never experienced. You are carrying the breakthrough your ancestors prayed for but never reached. You are walking into rooms your past tried to disqualify you from. You are stepping into blessings your enemies believed they had successfully blocked. Chosen One Part 2 ends here with the truth heaven has written over your life. You are not returning to old battles. You are not repeating old cycles. You are not shrinking back into old versions of yourself. You are stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Chosen one. As we move deeper into this divine unveiling, you must understand that what is happening around you now is not simply a shift. It is a spiritual reordering. Heaven has begun rearranging the landscape of your life, and even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it challenges your comfort, it is carrying you toward a destiny that cannot be undone, delayed, or denied. You did not come this far by accident. You have been led, guided, preserved, and positioned for a moment such as this. There are seasons in a chosen one's life when God goes silent, not to abandon you, but to anchor you. Silence is not punishment. It is preparation. It is heaven allowing your spirit to stabilize so that when the blessing comes, you do not crumble under the weight of it. And whether you recognized it or not, you recently came out of one of those silent seasons. It felt like prayers floated in the air with no response. It felt like you were walking through fog, trying to discern your next step. It felt like the heavens were distant, but that silence was strategic. God was strengthening your spiritual muscles, teaching you to stand not on feelings, but on faith, not on noise, but on knowing. He was anchoring you in conviction, so your confidence would be unshakable. Now that silence has broken. Now the atmosphere around you is vibrating with movement, answers, and acceleration. Anointed One. It's important you realize how much you've changed. You may not see it fully, but your spirit has been reshaped. Your instincts have been sharpened. Your tolerance has been refined. The things that once distracted you no longer have authority over you. The temptations that once captured your focus no longer appeal to you. The people who once drained your energy no longer have access to your inner world. This is evidence of elevation. True elevation is not only seen in what you gain, it is recognized in what no longer grips you. You have been released from versions of yourself that were too small for the calling you carry. Let me speak transparently for a moment. There was a time in my own journey when I mistook warfare for failure. I believed resistance meant something was wrong with me, or that I had somehow stepped out of alignment. But later, I discovered a powerful truth. The enemy only intensifies the attack when heaven intensifies the assignment. The enemy doesn't fight the stagnant. He fights the rising. He fights the surrendered. He fights the obedient. And chosen one, you have been obedient in ways others will never know. You have sacrificed quietly. You have prayed privately. You have endured silently. You didn't advertise your pain. You didn't broadcast your suffering. You didn't seek attention or pity. Instead, you held on to God when everything else slipped from your hands. This is why heaven is promoting you. This is why divine resources are locating you. This is why opportunities you didn't apply for, rooms you didn't request, and blessings you didn't chase are beginning to appear. You have passed the tests that qualify you for supernatural transfer. Chosen. 1. The spiritual realm recognizes something about you that you may not fully see, yet your season of being overlooked has ended. Heaven has placed a mantle on you that cannot be hidden. You are stepping into visibility, influence, and recognition, not for vanity, but for assignment. You are being positioned where your voice, your presence, your wisdom, and your anointing can impact others. This next part is important. What you survived wasn't just for you. Your survival carries a message. Your resilience carries a ministry. Your story carries an anointing that will break chains off people who have suffered silently just as you have. God doesn't waste pain. He repurposes it. He transforms it into power, into testimony, into authority. That's why you feel a shift in your identity. You're not drawn to what you used to chase. You're not entertained by what used to captivate you. You're not comforted by what once soothed you. You've outgrown emotional shortcuts and spiritual compromises. You've outgrown the need for validation. You've outgrown cycles of chaos that previously defined your life. You've outgrown the version of you that kept shrinking to make others comfortable. Elevation requires expansion, and expansion requires separation. Chosen one, you are no longer the one who fits in. You are the one who stands out. You are not the one searching for belonging. You are the one carrying purpose. You are not the one running after answers. You are the one heaven is trusting with revelation. This is why God has been quiet in some relationships, loud in your discernment, and clear in your inner knowing. You are being shaped into a vessel of authority. This authority will impact your finances. It will elevate your opportunities. It will open doors that were locked to generations before you. It will change the trajectory of your bloodline. You are stepping into what your ancestors prayed for in silence, but never lived long enough to receive. The blessing that is coming is not ordinary. It is not incremental. It is not something you work your way into. It is something heaven hands you because you endured, because you obeyed, because you refused to collapse when the pressure should have crushed you. Chosen one, as this divine unveiling continues to unfold, you must understand something critical about the terrain you are stepping into. You are crossing a spiritual threshold, and thresholds are never quiet places. They are the meeting points between what was and what will be, between who you were and who you are becoming. They are the places where old battles try one last time to claim you, and where heaven stands ready to escort you into a realm where those battles can no longer find you. This is where you are standing right now, in a holy transition. You have felt the tension. You have sensed the pull. Part of you feels like you're stepping out of an old skin. Another part feels like you're stepping into an identity that almost feels too weighty, too powerful, too sacred to be yours. But that's exactly how divine elevation feels. It doesn't arrive with comfort. It arrives with confirmation. And the confirmation is this: the heaven-written version of you is finally catching up with your reality. A chosen one. Have you noticed how your inner world has changed? How you've lost the ability to tolerate what once drained you? How your spirit tightens when you sense misalignment? How quickly you now recognize energy that is not meant for your next chapter? This is not moodiness or sensitivity. This is spiritual maturity. This is you evolving into the fullness of your calling. Heaven has been upgrading your discernment, your intuition, and your inner clarity, because what is coming requires a level of spiritual precision that only the refined can carry. Your old patterns have already begun collapsing. You don't respond the same. You don't fear the same. You don't break the same. The things that once shook you now barely move you. That is the fruit of your refining. And the more you continue to walk in this awareness, the more you will see just how far God has brought you. But understand, this elevation always exposes hidden intentions. When God begins to lift a chosen one, every connection in your life undergoes a divine audit. People who were comfortable with your old level become uneasy with your new authority. Conversations feel different. Energies feel different. Loyalty gets tested. Motives get revealed. It's not because you did anything wrong. It's because your spirit no longer matches the frequency of their expectations. Anointed one. This is where many get discouraged. They mistake divine separation for rejection. But rejection is people removing themselves from your life. Separation is God removing access to protect your destiny. And what has been happening in your relationships lately is not rejection. It is separation. God has been shutting doors you tried to keep open, redirecting connections you thought were permanent, and revealing truths you would have ignored before your awakening. Nothing was taken from you. Every shift was deliberate. And though painful, this cleansing is the clearest sign that heaven is preparing you for increase. You cannot step into abundance with people who only knew you in survival. You cannot step into purpose with people who benefit from your smallness. You cannot carry God's mantle into a room filled with voices that belittle your calling. God loves you too much to allow you to be surrounded by those who cannot steward your next level. You are stepping into a season that requires spiritual purity, not perfection, but alignment. You cannot afford to be spiritually entangled with confusion, chaos, manipulation, or environments that drain your peace. That is why God has been pruning you, shaping you, and sometimes isolating you. Isolation is not loneliness. It is preparation. It is the sacred place where God whispers identity back into your spirit and establishes the inner strength you need for where He is taking you. Chosen one. Whether you recognize it yet or not, you have already begun entering a realm of increase, financial increase, spiritual increase, emotional increase, and influence increase. The signs are subtle at first: small breakthroughs, unusual clarity, divine nudges, unexpected favor. But soon the small signs turn into irreversible evidence. Your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. Your gifts are being drawn toward opportunities you didn't seek. Doors are swinging open, not because you knocked, but because heaven unlocked them. This is what divine acceleration looks like. The blessing begins to move faster than your doubt. The provision starts arriving before the request. The opportunities travel ahead of your qualifications. This is the mark of someone heaven has chosen and validated. There is a truth you must hold close in this season. Your elevation is not a reward. It is a necessity. God is not blessing you simply to bless you. He is blessing you because your assignment requires resources, clarity, and spiritual authority. The financial increase coming your way is not indulgence, it is provision. The opportunities coming toward you are not random, they are strategic placements. The influence rising in your life is not about fame, it is about impact. You are about to step into a season where supernatural supply will follow you, where ideas will come with ease, where strategies will flow with clarity, where opportunities will align with timing, where relationships will be purposeful, supportive, and spiritually aligned, where your old struggles will feel distant, almost unrecognizable. Chosen one. You are not climbing anymore. You are rising. You are not fighting to survive. You are learning to receive. You are not navigating darkness. You are walking in authority. Everything about your life is shifting upward, not because of luck, not because of chance, but because heaven has decided your time has come. And now this chapter closes with a truth that your spirit already knows. The version of you that struggled is gone. The version of you that doubted has dissolved. The version of you that fought alone has been lifted. You are stepping into a realm where heaven goes before you, surrounds you, and establishes you. Your new season has already begun. Chosen one, as the veil continues to lift, and the divine work within you becomes clearer, you must understand the immensity of this moment in your journey. You are not merely entering a new season, nor simply closing the door on an old one. You are stepping into an entirely new dimension of identity and purpose. This shift is not surface level, it is spiritual, cellular, generational. It is a complete restructuring of who you are and who you were always meant to be. Everything around you, the opportunities, the endings, the alignments, the delays, is reflecting heaven's movement on your behalf. Inside you, a transformation has taken root. You are becoming anchored in a way you never were before. You are beginning to trust the timing of God more than the noise of your circumstances. You are learning to walk with clarity even when the path feels hidden. And the confidence rising within you is not pride, it is prophecy. It is the voice of destiny reminding you that what God ordained for you cannot be blocked, rushed, or diminished. God has been reorganizing your life with a precision you may not have recognized at first. Some doors closed abruptly. Some relationships faded without explanation. Some opportunities you thought were yours were suddenly redirected elsewhere. These were not coincidences. They were divine interventions. You were being redirected, not rejected. Heaven was clearing the atmosphere around you because your next level demands purity, discernment, and spiritual protection. Your obedience in these transitions is what heaven is honoring now. You stayed faithful even when the season felt hollow. You kept believing even when your heart was tired. You kept walking even when God was silent. And that kind of faith, quiet, steady, raw, carries weight in the spiritual realm. Heaven always responds to endurance wrapped in surrender. You have now crossed out of survival and into receiving. You are no longer patching yourself back together. You are rising into strength your old self could not contain. You've entered a period where your spirit is not trying to hold on, but learning to expand. Your vision is broadening. Your discernment is sharpening. Your boundaries are strengthening, and your spirit is preparing for territory it always knew belonged to you. This internal upgrade is not accidental. You are being shaped for the level you prayed for. You are being prepared for the rooms you will soon enter, rooms that require clarity, maturity, and spiritual authority. You can feel this preparation in the way you have outgrown certain habits, dialogues, and energies. You have become more selective about who can access you. You can sense misalignment instantly. Things that once tolerated your presence now react to your growth. This is elevation. And as elevation rises, exposure always follows. God will never allow counterfeits to travel with you into destiny. That is why he allowed certain intentions to surface. That is why he pulled back the curtain on certain relationships. That is why he showed you what you did not want to see. It wasn't to hurt you, it was to free you. You were being protected from agreements, entanglements, and attachments that would have suffocated the blessing coming your way. Everything you've been separated from was for your survival. Everything you are being aligned with now is for your assignment, chosen one. The level you're reaching is not a gentle shift, it is a divine takeover. The blessing arriving in your life is not symbolic, it is structural. It will impact your finances, your influence, your stability, and your spiritual authority. Heaven is not merely comforting you, heaven is compensating you. You paid a price in private that is about to be rewarded in public. Your name is being carried into rooms you've never walked into. Opportunities are searching for you without your effort. Conversations are happening in your favor. The spiritual realm has already recognized your promotion. Now the physical realm is catching up. The battles you fought were never random. Every attack that targeted you pointed to the area of your calling. The enemy hit your finances because God marked you for prosperity. He attacked your relationships because you are destined to break generational patterns. He attacked your peace because your voice carries restoration. He attacked your identity because heaven has placed authority on your life. And even under that pressure you did not break. You outlasted what was meant to bury you. You survived what generations before you could not outrun. You confronted cycles that were never yours to carry, and in doing so, you became the turning point of your bloodline. This is why heaven is moving with such force in your direction now. Your breakthrough is not just emotional, it is generational, it is material, it is spiritual, it is prophetic. God is about to restore everything that warfare tried to drain from you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And now, as this chapter of your becoming unfolds, something sacred is happening. The world is about to meet the version of you that heaven has been building in secret. The version that is healed, aligned, grounded, strengthened, and awakened. The version of you that no longer responds to fear, no longer bows to pressure, and no longer settles for less than what God promised. You are not preparing for your breakthrough anymore. Your breakthrough is preparing for you, and when it arrives, it will not knock softly. It will not arrive quietly. It will not slip in unnoticed. It will come with force, with clarity, and with divine confirmation. Chosen one. Everything in your life is shifting upward. Everything in your spirit is rising. Everything in your path is aligning. Heaven is not waiting. Heaven is moving, and your time is no longer coming. Chosen one. As this divine awakening deepens, you must understand that what is happening around you is no longer the continuation of an old story, but the unfolding of a prophecy. You are standing in a moment where heaven is moving with clarity, precision, and intention. Every shift, every silence, every inner stirring has been part of a spiritual orchestration set into motion long before you became aware of it. There are seasons when God whispers through stillness, and there are seasons when his movements shake the atmosphere. You are now in the latter. The transformation you are walking through is not one you can interpret with an old mindset. Your spirit has grown too much. Your understanding has expanded. You have outgrown the frameworks that once defined you. Destiny has lifted you into a higher realm, and everything inside you is adjusting to this new altitude. For the first time in a long time, you can feel a deeper truth rising within you, the truth that you were made for this. You were not created to barely survive. You were created to rise, to carry authority, to stand in a power that only heaven could place upon you. This rising is not happening because the circumstances around you are easy, but because the anointing within you has matured. You are walking into a chapter that your past cannot enter. What once held you back no longer has the strength to follow you. Your fears cannot sabotage you. Your enemies cannot influence you. The old version of you simply does not fit this new realm of identity. You have crossed a spiritual threshold, and nothing behind you carries the authority to pull you backward. Understand this: before God elevates a chosen one publicly, he always transforms them privately. Before he expands your territory, he expands your discernment. Before he opens doors, he strengthens the spirit that must walk through them. That is what has been happening to you in this inner season. God has been expanding your capacity emotionally, spiritually, mentally, so that the blessing coming next will not overwhelm you, but empower you. You are being shaped into the kind of vessel that can hold blessing without breaking. You are learning the art of responsibility, the weight of calling, and the discipline required to sustain elevation. The mindset you once lived in can no longer serve you. You are becoming someone who can carry influence with humility and purpose with clarity. This is also why God has removed certain people from your path. Their exit was not punishment, it was protection. Some connections were too fragile for the destiny you are stepping into. Some relationships were too unstable for the blessing being released over your life. Some energies carried too much confusion to walk with you into your next chapter. Heaven saw what you could not, and heaven intervened to preserve your future. Though the separation felt painful, it was holy. God was removing interference so you could hear him clearly. He was eliminating distractions that diluted your purpose. He was closing access points that were draining your peace. Everything that left was making room for everything that is now coming toward you. And what is coming is not incremental, it is transformational. The increase unfolding in your direction will not be quiet or subtle. It will be visible, undeniable, and deeply supernatural. Favor will begin to move toward you with a force that cannot be stopped. Blessings will appear faster than your doubt. Opportunities will align without your effort. Provision will arrive before the need even appears. This is happening because you have proven yourself faithful in seasons that tested the core of your identity. You held on when everything else told you to let go. You believed when evidence said, give up. You worshipped when worry tried to suffocate you. Heaven does not overlook endurance like that. Heaven rewards it. The winds have shifted around you. Your spirit can feel it. The atmosphere is carrying the sound of breakthrough. You are no longer waiting for the blessing is moving toward you. Doors are already opening. Paths are already clearing. Instructions are already being whispered. God is aligning your steps with precision. Only He can orchestrate. This is not merely abundance. This is inheritance. What you are stepping into is not a gift for surviving pain, but a reward for obedience, resilience, and surrender. The blessing coming your way will shape your future, elevate your influence, and heal generations after you. Embrace this truth. The old version of you has dissolved. You cannot shrink to fit the expectations of others. You cannot minimize your calling. You cannot pretend you are ordinary when heaven has already marked you as extraordinary. Everything about your life has shifted upward. Everything within your spirit is awakening. Everything in your destiny is aligning. Your becoming is no longer a process, it is reality. Your breakthrough is no longer a promise, it is unfolding. Your time is no longer approaching, it is here. Chosen one. As this sacred journey continues to unfold within you, there is a truth rising to the surface that can no longer be ignored. You are stepping into a realm where everything you once prayed for is beginning to respond. Not slowly, not timidly, but with a force that shows heaven has already made its decision concerning you. You are entering a season where the spiritual and the natural intertwine, where what you feel in your spirit begins to appear in your reality. The quiet whispers you once sensed are turning into confirmations, alignments, and undeniable demonstrations of God's hand over your life. There's a reason your soul feels more alert than ever before. Your spirit is picking up signals from heaven, signals that something enormous is drawing near, something that has your name written on it, something that cannot be delayed any longer. You are being prepared for a blessing that is not simply provision, but transformation. And as this transformation unfolds, your life will not return to what it once was. Survival is no longer your default. Expectation is. Elevation is. Expansion is. You may have noticed that the way you think has shifted. The way you interpret challenges has evolved. The way you handle disappointment is different. You are no longer breaking the way you used to. You are no longer absorbing pain the way you once did. Your emotional reactions have matured. Your spiritual discernment has sharpened. You are not drowning in what used to overwhelm you. That is evidence of internal restoration, the kind that only comes from walking through fire and coming out refined. There is a level of resilience in you now that cannot be undone. Heaven has rebuilt you layer by layer, making you wiser, calmer, stronger, and more aligned with your purpose. What used to steal your peace no longer has access. What used to shatter your identity no longer moves you. What used to confuse your spirit now reveals itself quickly. You are seeing with clarity because God has lifted you above the chaos that once clouded your mind. This clarity is necessary because you are approaching a chapter where you must be able to distinguish between what is good and what is God, between opportunities that look promising and opportunities that are divine, between people who praise you and people who are assigned to you. Not everyone who admires you is meant to accompany you. Not every open door is an ordained door. Not every comforting voice is a trustworthy voice, and God has trained your spirit to sense the difference instantly. Chosen one. A deep shift has happened in your identity. You are no longer operating from insecurity. You are operating from conviction. You are no longer living from wounds. You are living from wisdom. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You are walking in the worth that God has already sealed within you. This is why old triggers no longer pull you backward. Your spirit has outgrown them. This is why old cycles no longer entice you. Your soul is advancing too quickly. This is why old atmospheres no longer feel familiar. Your destiny has expanded beyond them. And as you rise, heaven is rearranging everything connected to your path. The people entering your life now carry purpose, not chaos. The opportunities appearing before you now carry alignment, not confusion. The ideas coming to your mind now carry clarity, not fear. You are beginning to attract what matches your calling, not what matches your past. But with elevation comes something many do not anticipate: spiritual responsibility. You are not being blessed just to experience blessing. You are being blessed to steward destiny. God is entrusting you with influence, visibility, provision, and favor because He knows you will handle them with honor. You will not misuse your elevation. You will not distort your purpose. You will not take this blessing lightly. You have been tested too deeply, humbled too thoroughly, and refined too intensely to ever forget where this breakthrough comes from. And this breakthrough is not temporary. It is not fragile. It is not shallow. The blessing coming into your life is foundational. It will stabilize you, secure you, and anchor you in ways you have never experienced. It will heal the instability that marked your past. It will break the scarcity that haunted your childhood. It will silence the anxieties that lived inside your mind. This blessing will not simply improve your life, it will redefine it. Chosen one. You are stepping into a season where the things that once terrified you will now testify about you. The battles that once seemed unbeatable will become stories of your strength. The hardships that once left you shaken will become evidence of your resilience. Your scars will not bring shame, they will bring authority. The very areas where you once felt weak are becoming the areas where God demonstrates His greatest power through you. And while others may not understand how you have reached this point, heaven does. Heaven watched you endure the nights when you didn't think you could keep going. Heaven counted every tear, recorded every prayer, and strengthened every breath when you felt like collapsing. Heaven documented your process, not to shame you, but to justify the blessing about to appear. Nothing you went through was wasted. Nothing you suffered was ignored. Nothing you survived was unseen. Every moment is now returning to you as favor. As this elevation unfolds, pay attention to the stillness forming in your spirit. This quiet confidence you feel is not random. It is not pride. It is agreement. It is your spirit finally aligning with what God always knew about you. You are stepping into a season where your inner posture must match your outer destiny. God does not want you walking into blessing timidly. He wants you stepping into promise boldly. The season you are entering requires you to carry yourself as someone chosen, not because of ego, but because of calling. You must walk with intention, speak with clarity, move with discernment. Think with vision. Make decisions from a place of faith, not fear. Heaven is no longer preparing you. Heaven is positioning you. Chosen one. The spiritual momentum around your life is increasing. Everything is accelerating. Everything is aligning. Everything is rising. You are not waiting for the shift anymore. You are in the shift. And nothing in your past has the authority to interrupt what God is establishing now. Chosen one, as this revelation continues to unfold, you must understand that you are now standing in one of the most defining thresholds of your entire journey. This is not merely another chapter, not simply another transition. This is a spiritual crossing, a moment in which heaven is not just observing your path, but actively reshaping it. Everything within you and around you is shifting because your destiny has reached its appointed hour. There is a stirring in your spirit that refuses to be ignored. You feel it in the quiet moments. You sense it when you wake up. You notice it in the way your thoughts have changed, in the way your heart reacts differently, in the way your intuition speaks louder than ever before. This is more than personal growth. It is spiritual awakening. It is the evidence that God has been working beneath the surface, cultivating a strength within you that even you did not know existed. You have entered a season where the old ways of thinking no longer fit. The limitations that once shaped your decisions are dissolving. Fear no longer has a language you understand. Doubt no longer has a doorway into your mind. You have grown beyond the patterns that once imprisoned you. This is the fruit of your endurance, the quiet proof that the battles you survived were never wasted. What you are feeling now is a sense of readiness, a sense of maturity, a sense of divine timing aligning perfectly with your spirit. This readiness is not forced. It is not manufactured. It is the outcome of everything you've walked through, every tear you've shed, every night you held on when you wanted to let go. Chosen one. The shift inside you is not accidental. It is intentional. Heaven has waited for this version of you, the one who no longer asks for clarity from the world, but receives direction from within. The one who no longer measures worth by validation, but by calling. The one who no longer bends to pressure but stands in identity. You have been raised, refined, and repositioned for something greater than your past could ever hold. This is why life around you feels different. Opportunities feel closer. Peace feels heavier. Your spirit feels more grounded, more aware, more awake than ever. You are not imagining it. You are evolving into the vessel God designed you to be. And as this evolution continues, heaven begins to bring things into your life that match your new identity. This alignment is why old connections have fallen away. You cannot carry old agreements into a new destiny. Relationships that were built on your old wounds cannot survive your healing. People who were connected to the insecure version of you cannot understand your awakened one, and so God allowed distance to form, not to hurt you, but to preserve you. Some people were tied to your history, but not your future, and heaven will never allow what is temporary to interfere with what is eternal. Every separation was necessary. Every silence was protection. Every closed door was direction. Heaven has been pruning the garden of your life so that what grows next is pure, intentional, and aligned with your calling. And now, with those distractions removed, you are stepping into a season where your spirit can breathe again, where you can hear God with clarity, where you can sense purpose with confidence, where you can make decisions from wisdom, not fear. This clarity is part of the elevation. Your mind is catching up with your spirit, and your spirit is catching up with God's plan. Chosen one, you are not just being blessed, you are being established. What is coming next is not fleeting. It is not temporary. It is not fragile. God is positioning you for long-term stability, long-term purpose, long-term provision, long-term peace. This next season carries weight because you carry weight. You have graduated from cycles that broke others. You have grown through storms that would have erased someone else. You have walked through spiritual fire that shaped your discernment in ways nothing else could. While others crumble under pressure, you learn to hear God in it. While others drown in fear, you learned to move through it. While others quit, you learned to rise. That is why heaven is releasing so much in your direction. You have proven yourself trustworthy. You have proven yourself ready. You have proven that your character can carry the calling placed on your life. And now, resources, connections, ideas, and opportunities are beginning to align, not because you are chasing them, but because destiny is pulling them toward you. You are no longer living at the mercy of circumstance. You are walking in divine orchestration. Your steps are ordered. Your voice is empowered. Your spirit is attuned to heaven's frequency. Do not be surprised when doors begin opening without effort. Do not be startled when people suddenly recognize your value. Do not question when unexpected blessings begin appearing. You are not lucky, you are positioned. You are not fortunate, you are favored. You are not accidentally blessed. You are intentionally chosen. The world is about to experience the version of you that heaven has been crafting in secret, the version that carries grace without apology, the version that walks in purpose without hesitation, the version that moves in authority without intimidation, the version that embodies peace even in the presence of pressure. As you continue forward, remember this: you are not stepping into the unknown, you are stepping into what has always been yours. The path before you is not new to God. It is only new to you. He has prepared it, sanctified it, ordained it, and aligned it long before you ever reached it. Your job now is simple walk in who you already are. Chosen one, you are crossing the line between preparation and manifestation, between expectation and experience, between promise and possession. And once you cross this line, nothing in your past has the authority to pull you back. Your becoming is accelerating, your blessing is approaching, your purpose is unfolding. Your destiny is rising, and heaven is standing behind you with its full weight. Chosen one, as this divine unfolding continues to expand within you, your spirit is awakening to a truth your mind is only now beginning to understand. You are no longer standing at the edge of breakthrough, you have stepped fully into it. The spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life has shifted quietly but powerfully, signaling that the battles which once pursued you no longer hold authority. This shift is not subtle. It is heaven's deliberate mark upon your journey, a confirmation that the old season has reached its final breath. There is a new strength rising within you, one that does not come from pride or ambition, but from alignment. You are beginning to realize that every delay carried purpose, every closed door offered protection, and every painful moment was part of a divine exchange, preparing you for what is now unfolding. The endurance you demonstrated in silence became the doorway through which heaven intervened. And now what was once invisible is becoming visible, turning inner assurance into external evidence. This is why peace has settled over you in ways you cannot explain. This is why clarity is forming faster than confusion, even when your circumstances have not fully shifted. This is why you feel movement in places that look still. Your inner world knows what your future is preparing to reveal. The worst is behind you. The old cycles have collapsed, and a new chapter has already begun writing itself through your life. Anointed one. The path ahead will not demand striving. It will invite receiving. You no longer need to chase what carries your name, nor fight for what heaven has already approved. Divine momentum is now at your back, pulling opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs toward you with precision and purpose. What was once out of reach is now moving in your direction, drawn by the authority of your calling. This is the era of your becoming, the season where your spirit, mind, and identity finally stand in harmony with the destiny written over your life. You are emerging not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. So walk forward with reverence. Walk forward with expectation. Walk forward knowing that your steps are being ordered by a realm that has already witnessed your victory. You're no longer waiting for breakthrough. Breakthrough is unfolding through you. Your time is not approaching. Your time is here. Chosen one, as we come to the close of this message, I speak this over you with holy certainty. You are standing in your Kairos moment. Heaven has already shifted the atmosphere around your life. What broke you has become what crowned you. What threatened you has become what launched you. And what once resisted you can no longer touch you. The divine transfer is not coming, it has begun. Anointed one, you are stepping into days where favor moves ahead of you, where clarity rises within you, and where what God promised begins to manifest without delay. You are not leaving this message the same way you entered. Something in your spirit has been sealed, strengthened, and awakened. Walk forward with reverence. Walk forward with authority. Walk forward knowing heaven is endorsing every step. May the blessing of God rest on your home, your mind, your path, and your purpose. May your discernment stay sharp, your peace remain unshaken, and your heart stay aligned with the one who called you. You are covered, you are chosen, you are positioned for more than you can imagine. If this word touched your spirit, chosen one, you may share your amen in the comments as a declaration of faith. And if you feel led, stay connected here so you don't miss what heaven releases next. Until we meet again, stay anchored, stay expectant, and remember this truth: your breakthrough has already begun.